for Fine Dog is definitely going to help him out in this draft.
Yeah, exactly. It keeps them guessing onto the side of Ultimate Baguettes. Do they ban out junglers? Do they ban out their supports? Do they ban out the solo lane? Potentially the Singe coming through here first game for Fine Dog. I mean, we had this, I'm pretty sure it was Vapo that played the Singe in the battles as well, right? So clearly a little bit of a, maybe a bit of cooking here for the Singe, the man from the Arcane himself.
Probably Singe support, I would assume. You don't really see Singed in any of the solo lanes. Singe support is probably going to be happening here. No, on the other side, looks like it's going to be an option. They're going to be last picked here. Yep, that is going to be locked in as well. So some really high power, really big picks here already. You know, you're probably going to be seeing a lot of the solo laners being banned now. You know, potentially likes of Fiora could be banned. Renekton, Mordekaiser could be banned as well. Again, big thing with these two team compositions, no AP damage so far. So that's going to be a big priority with these, you know, solo laners. Now you're looking at some of these AP solo laners to come on through. You know, are we going to see mages already in game number 1, which would be very surprising? Or are we going to see more bruisers, as I mentioned, like the the Mordekaiser, or maybe even the Vladimir could come through as an assassin.
Yeah, I mean, Rise is still available as well, right? Unless it gets banned out in these next 2 phases. But the Lily are getting banned out again. Another aim at the AP here, champion pool here as well. So, I mean, it did definitely pay off for Vapo in that game number 2 as well. It definitely gave them the lead that they needed to get that point from the International Jobcenter. But banning out the Fiora here, so definitely kind of like aiming at this top side of the map there is the Rise as well. Don't want that coming through in game number 1. They want to kind of try and keep that for themselves, potentially in another game in the series.
Yeah, you're already seeing some of these AP champions being banned away so far, you know, with the Rise and the Lilia as well. Surprised that Rise went through this entire draft, but I feel like with this Singed pick, you could have kept it as like a last pick and you could have prioritized like the Rise instead if you really wanted to. Could have been really good, you know, Poppy with the front line and Ezreal and Rise just behind as well. Could have kept the Singed till last, because who's going to ban Singed away, you know? Nocturne possibility could be coming through. It is going to get locked in as well.
Nice.
First game in the EMEA Rift Legends to see what Nocturne is all about.
I mean, who best to play it than Final Wax, right? I mean, you bigged him up in the intro. He is one of the best junglers within the EMEA. So who else to display him onto the Rift other than the man himself? But we're obviously getting the Renekton potentially up into the top side of the map as well. So quite a big, strong front line here for the side of Fine Dog. They definitely need a little bit more of a back line here. They only really have the Ezreal. So we need something in that mid lane that's really going to kind of like pop off or maybe do a lot of burst damage, which they kind of need onto the draft of Fine Dog here.
Sandra being hovered, not too sure what I think about the pick. Might be a bit difficult here, especially if it comes up against a melee matchup. Lissandra is normally a classic counter to melee assassins, like Nocturne, for example. Nocturne's never going to be able to jump onto Lissandra basically this game. So yeah. Ezreal's also going to be a very hard target to jump onto. So very nice pick here for Fine Dog to, you know, counter pick that Nocturne in a way and try and make sure that Nocturne doesn't have a lot of targets to jump onto. We're going to have Warwick as the other solo laner. So we got Nocturne jungle, Gnar and Warwick in the solo lane, and Corki. So again, really for here for Ultimate Baguette, not a lot of AP damage. The only AP damage they have is Warwick, which I guess does quite a bit of AP damage now since his rework, especially his ultimate as well does a lot of AP damage. But when you get to the likes of the Poppy and the Singe, like they can build a lot of armor this game and negate a lot of damage from the likes of Nocturne, the likes of Corki, and also Gnar.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what they go for here, obviously, and how they're going to play. Because we said, obviously, it's going to be hard for Nocturne to dive the Ezreal and the Lissandra as well. So already kind of trying to negate like the actual impact of Nocturne into this draft onto Fine Dog for now. But also, I mean, the denial of obviously any kind of engage, you've got it from either Poppy with obviously her ultimate, being able to knock the enemy back very far away. You've also got the Call Meek as well from Renekton at a CC single target to try and shut down any kind of dive there. And then on top of that, you got Singe that can just throw them back, you know, just like completely get rid of them. So there's plenty of ways for Fine Dog to try and deny, if there is a way of access other than the Nocturne from Ultimate Baguette, to kind of just deny that onto their backline, which is obviously going to be where a lot of their damage comes from.
A very scary combo is definitely going to be that Nocturne ultimate. And as soon as you use that Nocturne ultimate, it's going to be followed up straight away by the Ornn as well. So you know, the Ornn ultimate is going to come through. Everyone's going to be nearsighted as well, so that's going to be very difficult to try and, you know, shut down in general, because you're not going to be able to see where the Ornn horn is going and where the Ornn horn is going to. So might be a little bit difficult.
Very difficult indeed, but we are going to get into this match number 1 between FineDog and Ultimate Baguette. Obviously, the Turkish representatives going up against another EMEA representative as well. Obviously, some familiar names for some people that have been watching the scene for quite some time. Obviously, Hestes, Final Wax, Patras as well are all going to be kind of very familiar to those watching over at home, wherever you are in the world. But let's see how obviously it goes down. We've still seen that 2-for-2 into the mid lane as standard. We see Lissandra going up against the Warwick into the bot side of the map. Obviously, the lunge is going to be kind of like a way to try and close that distance between those two picks.
Few interesting rune choices as well, to be fair. Lethal Tempo for Nocturne, we don't really see too much. We either see the Conqueror or the First Strike, especially with a lot of bruisers on the enemy team. You really expected to see Conqueror. Also the Arcane Comet for Lissandra, not really too sure how that's going to work. I guess you can poke a little bit more against the melee matchup, but normally you want like some burst damage, like Electrocute, which can be easier to prog. And even Poppy as well. You know, some people might say that, you know, the phase rush is the go-to rune, but with Fleet Footwork being so strong right now in jungle and helping your, you know, helping accelerate your jungle clear, then I think the Fleet Footwork can be a very good option. It still gives you that movement speed that phase rush also gives.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see how it works out for the side of FineDog. They clearly, obviously, have played this or this kind of build previously, so they definitely have a way to make it work, I suppose. But Nocturne going in with a rotate here, maybe just trying to get the Rift Scuttle. They've already lost the one down to the bot side of the map as well. Poppy being able to clean that one, so Nakamura was able to get at least one half of the Rift Scuttles for now.
Nocturne just rotating around at the moment, trying to get him some vision for his team. Meanwhile, the Poppy on the other side of the map, the flash on through onto the Warwick. There's a lockdown as well. First blood on one side of the map here for FineDog. And on the other side, unfortunately for Final Wax, he wasn't able to get a dive onto that Renekton. So first blood here for Poppy is going to accelerate the advantage that Poppy can get in this early game.
Yeah, I mean, there was really trying to replicate, get the 1v1 takedown from across the map as well, which definitely would have made the difference pretty much closer than what it is right now. I mean, it's not too far apart. FineDog are ahead about 500 gold, which at this point of the game is not kind of crazy. You're just kind of looking to see where that 500 gold is going to be sitting, and right now you can see it's obviously on the Poppy over the Nocturne into the jungle, so really already starting to put a little bit of a clear lead for the side of FineDog for now.
I mean, like, Lissandra also gets an easier time in this bot side as well, so it's not going to be as easy for the Warwick to step up and try and take a trade. Even at level 5 as well. I still feel like level 5 he can try and dive in and do a lot of burst damage with his ultimate, but he hasn't had that right opportunity yet. Maybe waiting for Lissandra to use her ultimate first, but I feel like with Warwick, you just want to try and dive in. You got to try and take advantage of this weak mage just being played in the side lane.
Yeah, right now, I mean, we are nowhere near yet the neutral objectives. We're going to be getting them very soon. We've been seeing pretty much through the majority of the last series as well. Obviously, everyone likes to go for the Enchanted Ensemble, and it works very well in terms of creating that early game pressure, which we need to see. I mean, right now, Ultimate Baguette don't have a single kill on the board yet. They're behind with gold. They definitely want to try and get that lockdown onto the Enchanted Ensemble when it does come up. But maybe a contestant here for the blue.
They're going to try and go for this blue buff here. It might be a little bit difficult. Poppy actually going to try and use the ultimate to knock someone away. Doesn't actually hit anyone at all, unfortunately. And the Nocturne jumps back in with the ultimate. Darkness has arrived. Corki flashing over the wall as well. That's already 2 kills for this Nocturne. Maybe can try and get another as well with the Corki there by his side. No, not going to get anything more, but as you mentioned, that invade onto the blue buff not going in their favor, and now the Nocturne can even look to try and invade the Poppy as a response.
Yeah, definitely not the way they wanted the cookie to crumble, and they've lost their red, like you said there, Stu. So definitely paying them back is Ultimate Baguette for saying, like, hey, don't try and invade my jungle. We will obviously meet you head to head. They got 3 kills. They went into the enemy side of the jungle as well and took their red buff also. So that's going to be a little bit damage reduction going up to the side of Fine Dog. They won't be able to have that crimson, the red buff for a little while, but that's going to make a little bit more of an easier setup here for this Enchanted Ensemble, right? We see that Final Wax is already kind of making his way to the top side of the map, looking to try and potentially set this up, but so is Fine Dog. They're looking to try and meet this on head to head.
The problem is right now, Final Wax doesn't have his ulti on Nocturne. He also hasn't gone back to base. He has like 3,000 gold. Oh, actually, no. He doesn't have 3,000 gold anymore because he was able to get the Ornn upgrade, which is actually really big. So he was able to buy an item already. There's the knockback from the Poppy. Nocturne still doesn't have his ultimate at the moment, so it's going to be very difficult. The Ornn does come on through, and they do get one kill to start things off. There's the Warwick diving in onto the backline, getting Poppy already, and trying to get more as well. They're able to get the Rift Herald, even without the Nocturne ultimate in the end. Was able to do enough to survive. I was going to mention that Final Wax didn't go back to base, but what happened there was Heste used his Ornn passive to give that purchase over to Final Wax. So he was able to stay on the map, get the item, get the advantage that he needed, and the anti-shield is going to be crucial when it comes on through as well. But extremely well played here by Final Wax and also by Heste.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows the kind of the aggressiveness of this Ornn, right? I mean, if this was not like Fearless Draft, Ornn would pretty much be either prio banned or prio picked for both these teams. But we see him come in. Nocturne just flying from across the map, getting the kill into the top side of the map and the T1 for Ultimate Baguette. So having a really shaky early game, but now they are paying it back.
Darkness. That's what you hear every time. Beautiful. It's my worst nightmare.
Beautiful. Beautiful interpretation there, Stu. You got me creaking in my boots.
on just missed the Ornn. We won't talk about that, Heste. I definitely won't be DMing you later on and question you over the Ornn there. That's all good. We always knew that you could only play Rakan, don't play one champion, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Coach Stu coming in like, hey guys, what happened here? What's going on? Why did you miss it? That could have been so crucial. But hey, they're ahead. They're ahead by what, 6k gold? They could let that whiff a little bit. I give them a little bit of lenience.
Dragon going over here to the Ultimate Baguette. Also going to get the mid lane tower as well. Yeah, this looks like pretty scary lead so far for Ultimate Baguette. We've seen already 7,000 gold lead. Mid lane tower gone down. Top lane tower also gone down. Now they just need to get the bot lane tower, and they'll be very, very far ahead in this game. But you're seeing right now that Lissandra hasn't been very useful in these fights. These mages that I mentioned that are not going to be very good. It is a nice counter pick to the Nocturne because, as I mentioned, Nocturne can't really dive onto you and doesn't really do anything to Lissandra because she can just ulti herself. But you're seeing just in general in these team fights, she's just not really making any impact at all.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I mean, they're definitely playing from the kind of like back foot. They have to try and play a little bit more defensively, knowing that obviously their T1s have been taken to top side and mid in the map as well. They've got to be careful. But speaking of being careful, Poppy looking not Poppy, sorry, Lissandra looking pretty low here. Able to try and escape here, but the Ornn does come through. Actually doesn't connect onto Fakerpoo. So we see Warwick come into the backline there. He's able to take it down as well, failing where his teammate did. He was successful, but Heste's getting out with so little health. He flashes over the wall. They're still continuing with kills, but into the backline is Poppy getting the kill onto Heste's, but double kill going over to Corki as well. And they're not quite done there yet. They're trying to get the kill onto Nakamura once more, but Bebe Pro trying to claim it. The healing coming through from the Honey Drew through. Is it going to be enough to get Nakamura out there? But he's in the wrong side of the map. We need Final Wax to come through. Here he is. They're trying to get the escape, but it just wasn't enough.
Was enough in the end, and the tower dive worked out perfect in the end. Heste hitting his ultimate, then Warwick diving in onto the back line as well. Ezreal just couldn't even move in this fight. It was knocked up and moved around so often. Singe tried his best to kill the Ezreal and knocked the Ornn away, knocked the Warwick away, and flipped the Warwick away as well, but just wasn't enough, unfortunately. You know, the Singe unfortunately not being able to do enough in these fights so far to be able to protect. But there's the ultimate. Oh, Final Wax one-shots in the end. Really well played. And Nocturne ultimate can work on Lissandra if she doesn't have her ultimate. And as you can see, Nocturne does a crazy amount of damage.
Crazy amount of damage, but speaking of that, we do have the Corki in here as well, laying down the bombs. He gets the kill onto Nakamura as well, so going down already is two members of the side of Iron Dog as they approach their T2. They need the minion waves to come through here. It has just neutralized itself naturally, but they need to try and put a little bit more pressure into this top side of the map as well. Obviously, Renekton not having the best game as well. 0-1-0, about 2k gold behind the enemy's Nah, which is definitely not where you want to be when you're Renekton.
Yeah, just across the board right now, they're so far behind in gold. Even the supports are like nearly 1,500 gold behind as well. So just across the board, I mean, we have over a 10,000 gold lead right now. It's 12,000 gold lead right now for Ultimate Baguette. And it's, like I said, at this point, it's very hard for Fine Dog to try and find the opportunity in the window that they need to try and come back in this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, they don't have the privilege, obviously, overstepping their base as well. Obviously, they've lost their T1s. They kind of have to stick around this sort of red buff kind of territory, but we've seen it time and time again where Ultimate Baguettes have kind of just like over-invited themselves and like say, hey guys, are you taking that? No? Can we have it? Cool, thank you. And then just kind of amassing that resources into their favor already. I mean, they're ahead by 11k gold globally. They're at the inhibitor into the top side of the map, so Fine Dog, like you said, Stu, need to try and find a way out of that base. But what is it going to be? They need to probably get a pick off onto the likes of either the Corki or even try and get like the shutdown to Final Wax. But the fact that he doesn't need to be anywhere near you to get the kill, he can just hone in, kill you, and then zip back out. It's like, how are you going to find Final Wax when he's the one who has to find you?
Sandra here looking for an invade, but I'm not too sure if you can kill this Warwick. He's just going to fear you. Oh my god! They just jump on the Lissandra and she can't even ulti. She gets CC'd by the Warwick ultimate and she is just out of the fight before it even starts. Poppy's trying to survive as well. Actually, the Singe being able to flash away, but look at the Corki cleanup in the end. The damage is already there. The Manimune's already complete. The Trinity Force is already complete as well. Warwick is just running down Poppy like a dog right now. Corki's trying to do as much damage as possible to the Poppy. She's still not dead yet. She's actually dodging through everything at the moment, but it's only a matter of time. The Warwick movement speed is just going to be way too much. Heste flashing forward as well, and there you go, kill secured onto the Poppy. They're going to take the Dragon. They're probably going to try and take the Barret at this point as well. Final Wax is up in 5 seconds. They have a 20-second window now to try and take this Barret away.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting some like 80s cup chases going on with this game, right? Like the fact that like this Poppy's just always like trying to give the chase of their lives onto the side of Ultimate Baguette, but then ultimately gets just like knocked down in that whole chase. It's kind of like, it'd be a great distraction to obviously give over some resources and try and push his rest of his team out of his base, but you don't see that happening. I mean, they got the minion wave priority into the mid lane, but now the fact that Ultimate Baguette have the Baron Nashor, it's just going to be completely negated at that point.
Really hard now. I don't see a way for Final Dog to come back in this game, to be honest with you. It's gonna be a miracle at this point. Lissandra is 0-5, really far behind in terms of tempo and gold. Doesn't even have a second item yet, going for Death Cap as her second item, and sometimes this can be the problem when you're going for such an expensive item like Death Cap. Not even completing Death Cap. Hey, why not? I mean, I don't even know what she's building now. Maybe building for maybe trying to go for the anti-shields, the trident potentially, but I'm not too sure where the other component is for that. So yeah, one item after 13 minutes for Lissandra. They're definitely going to have to go back to the drawing board when it comes to AP champions. Oh my god, Heste, that combo was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, Heste, Filthy on the Ornn there. Getting the kill onto the Lissandra. I mean, already Renekton's down as well. Like I said earlier on, he's not having the greatest game. The Gargoyle's trying to save the Horn there, but it's not. Heste does finally go down. That's going to be a kill going over to the side of Fine Dog for now. Bapo just looking for his way in, trying to get the CC potential in the backline there. Does get the dive. That turret's on 6 health. They do come in. Patris gets the knock onto that one, and then it's an ace for the side of Ultimate Baguette as they approach the Nexus, taking game 1 from Fine Dog.
Very clean game in the end from Ultimate Baguette. I mean, their draft as well was very solid. Fine Dog, I mean, they're going to have to come up with something else. I mean, the draft in general just did not work. The Lissandra pick didn't work. You can see how much she struggled in the side lane. Wasn't able to do too much in terms of the pick as well. Even though she can use her ultimate to try and stop like Nocturne jumping in, What if Warwick also jumps in as well? I didn't even think of that, but like Warwick jumps in, stuns Lissandra. She can't ulti or use anything or use any summoner spells to try and escape. And then suddenly, I mean, here comes Nocturne as well, just one shot in you. So yeah, very difficult game to start things off here for Fine Dog. But this is a best of 5, and of course it is Fearless as well. So the picks, as you can see at the bottom, that were all picked in game number 1 is now out for the rest of this series. You know, picks like that Corki were very, very important for the victory.
Very important, but I mean, I would honestly go and say that obviously Hestes on the Ornn was definitely very important as well, right? Like getting that out of the first game and no longer being available for the potential next 4 games for the enemy team as well is definitely going to be like a bit of a gutting feeling, right? I mean, you can take away the Ezreal. I mean, we've seen teams are able to kind of perform without the Ezreal. You can take away Lissandra, no one cares. You can take away the Singe, no one cares. But the Poppy being taken away and not gaining you a victory is very troublesome, right? Because I mean, that now frees up a slot for a ban. I mean, both the Renekton and the Poppy were highly banned champions in the previous series. So now it kind of gives Ultimate Baguette